Alright, so now that I've got my blade quenched and put my maker's mark in it before I quenched it, but now that I've got this quenched, it's time to go ahead and start putting the finish on the blade, grinding the scale off of it, and putting the bevels in it, and then we'll be ready to put the handle on. Then we'll be ready to put this hornet handle on. This epoxy resin hornet handle. So now remember, made this knife out of a chainsaw bar. Now that I've got it quenched, ready to start working on it, I want to go ahead and check for the hardness. And it hardened up really good. The file escapes right off of it. So now I'm going to start working on getting it cleaned up, getting it ready to put that handle on. Okay, so I've got that cleaned up, got the scale ground off of it. I went ahead and polished it up some. And now I made this little jig. It's kind of like, helps me know where to start my bevel at. You can see how shiny it's looking already. Got that mirror polish on it. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start putting the bevels in it before I get it completely polished up. So when you're doing those bevels like that, free-handing it like I am, it's got to be calm and steady. And just have a little patience and keep working it until you get the bevels on both sides looking the same. You just got to have a little patience and go real steady with it. Even. When you go working it back and forth, side to side, you want to go at an even pace. So I'll get them finished up and I'll be right back. So now that I've got the bevels on both sides, it's time to go get this. It's time to go get this handle material cut out and ready to be put on. So now I've got that cut out. I'm fixing to make a hole, put it in the tank. I'm also going to add me a piece of brass on it. Okay, so I've got my brass guard here fitted up. Now it's time to glue everything on. Want to mix that up really good. And as you can see, it warmed up pretty good today. This stuff's really runny. Now, scoop some of that up right there where that guard is. I want to get it down in there because the back side's bigger than the front side. Let that expand. And notice I put some tape on there that'll help keep that epoxy off that blade where I won't have to clean it off. Now, take my handle material here, and I want to start shoving this down inside that. I believe that'll do it. And we'll set it up in here in this here clamp. Push it together. I'll leave that sitting there for a little while, and then I'll come back and I'll take it out, but I'll go ahead and wait 24 hours before I try to finish it up. Okay, so I've been out here working on this knife this morning. This knife we made out of that chainsaw bar. I've been grinding on the handle material, and I'm fixing to take a file to it and get it down to looking like a handle, more like a handle. Then after that, start doing the sanding and whatnot to clear that up. That way we can see that hornet inside this handle. Now what I'm trying to do now is get some of the thickness out of this handle. And I don't want to get too carried away with it just yet. So I'm going to go a little bit more. So now we'll start trying to finish it off. I'm going to do some hand sanding with some 80 grit sandpaper. I'll use this 80 grit, and I'll just, like any other anything, any other handle or anything I've been making, and I'll work my way up to a higher grit, which I'll go really high because the epoxy that's on the end of this, I want to try to get that get it to a glassy finish, where I can see through it really good. Okay, so I've been sanding on this for a while now, and whenever I started out at an 80 grit. Of course, that 80 grit works a number. I mean, it works number on composite or anything, you know, the epoxy, whatever. But I started at 80 grit, and I went all the way up to 2,000 grit. Now once I got to 400 grit, I started wet sanding, and I've just about got the sanding done here. Now I'm going to have to let it dry. That's what we're looking like so far. Okay, so I've ended up doing a finish with beeswax. Actually, we did just this turtle wax rubbing compound, heavy duty cleaner, and went over that again, and then after I got done doing that, we went over it with beeswax, put the final finish on it. You can see that little hornet in there. He did end up with a little air bubble or two in there, but he'll be alright. Now, I did decide to do something else. I've decided to go ahead and on the spine, I'm going to put a little decorative marks on the spine here, but I ain't going to show how to do that, but I'll show a picture at the end of the video of the final look on this. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, or consider subscribing anyways. Like and share. See you next time.